Hey, Grimmy here, and as we're sinking our teeth into part 2 of Dragon Ball Legends 6th anniversary, I think this video is an important discussion to, kind of have. I'm going to be talking about who the part 3 Ultra is going to be, who I think it's going to be, taking a look at what the community thinks and dissecting the various opinions in the community to kind of find out who might be the most likely option as to who's going to be released as the Ultra unit of Part 3 of Dragon Ball Legends 6th Anniversary. Starting off with the character on screen right now, it would be Fusion Zamasu. I think a lot of people have actually thought, or have kind of placed their bets on Fusion Zamasu as the Part 3 Ultra for the anniversary. And it's not a bad opinion, it's logical, and it makes a lot of sense why you would think that way. But in my opinion, I definitely think that it's residual hype of the Fusion units, right? Part 1 featured some of the most amazing characters that we've ever seen, most high effort and unique characters that we've ever gotten, that being Super Vegito and Gogeta Blue. And so I guess that would make people think like, oh, who would be the next Fusion character that we might see in the celebration? And so a lot of people thought of an antagonist to kind of be the counterpart to the protagonist that we saw at part 1 of the anniversary. And I guess when you pose or when you frame the conversation like that, then it does make a lot of sense. But in my opinion, I just don't think Fusion Zamasu's really cut out to be the Part 3 Ultra. And the reason I say that is because the anniversary is a massive celebration, and the devs should only be aiming to get like top grossing and have like the most sales and the highest player activity of the entire year, if you're not counting Legends Festival. The highest like player activity and spending in the year with whatever character they decide to drop. Fusion Zamasu, in my opinion, he's a hype character, sure, but I don't think he's hype enough. The character, he's very unique, and as a character, standing alone, he's a unique character in the sense that we've never heard of anyone fusing with themselves before. So that, in the sense, does make the character interesting, and why a lot of people may like Zamasu as a character, or specifically Fusion Zamasu. That, it's logical, it makes sense. But I don't think he's worthy of being a part 3 of, the anniversary celebration. He's just not there. He's just not hype enough. It doesn't get people excited enough, and he is a pretty hype unit, so I guess I could understand where the devs may be confused as to when to drop him. But I just don't think it's the right time for Fusion Zamasu. It's just not his... It's just not his time, man. And that's why I just don't think Fusion Zamasu's going to be the Part 3 Ultra, even though, again, it's not that he's not a hype character, it's just that, in my opinion, he's not hype enough. Moving on to who I think is the second option for Part 3 of the anniversary, the Part 3 Ultra, is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. A lot of people have been talking about this guy, a lot of people have been hyping him up, and the kind of thinking or the reasoning behind why people think it may be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta also makes a lot of sense. We've seen a bunch of Fusion Warriors drop for Part 1 of the anniversary, and they're definitely the much more iconic units, so it's understandable why some people may think that the next character to be dropping is, one that should be hype, is also a Fusion unit. And yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is absolutely anniversary worthy. He's one of the most memorable, most iconic, most anticipated, really. People want to see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta because there are so many animations that this unit has that, we have that it doesn't really capture the full scope of Gogeta's character in GT. A lot of animations we haven't seen, like the clone Kamehameha, for example, one of the most iconic ones, one of the ones that I remember at least. And that's the reason why I think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, it makes sense as to why people will make the argument that he's the Part 3 Ultra. But honestly, I have to pass. As much as I like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, he's just not my pick. And the reason for that is because he's just too hype of a character. So it's counter to what we've seen with Fusion Zamasu, right? It's not that he's not hype enough, he's too hype. Right? This is the 6th anniversary, and we have to remember that for every Dragon Ball Legends anniversary, the 7th is almost always the craziest, most memorable. The 7th, right? Because there are 7 Dragon Balls, so again, it makes sense as to why they would put all their eggs in the 7th anniversary basket. which is why I don't think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to be dropping for the 6th anniversary. Because at that point, who are you dropping for the 7th? You're basically gonna run out of characters if you're dropping that much. Like, you know, if these characters, these hype units are being released back to back to back to back, you're gonna run out eventually. And by the time the really important celebrations come, you won't have any units to really work with. And that's why I don't think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta really makes a lot of sense to be the 6th anniversary Ultra for Part 3. Again, it's not a bad option. And if they do decide to drop Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of times I feel like the devs don't really have too good of a pulse on like the hype factor of various units. If you don't remember, Kid Universal Spirit Bomb Goku from GT was dropped during the GT episode campaign, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. Not a lot of people agreed with that decision, simply because like Goku is a pretty hype character. That Goku is a hype character, and they had so many options to kind of mess around with his mechanics, make him like not a standby unit, because that's a Dokkan mechanic, but the kind of like charging ability with the same thing as like the Transcendent Kamehameha or Gamma 2's Core Breaker. They could have done so many interesting things with that Goku character, with that scene, and they just didn't do anything. It was just one Goku unit who could pull off an LF, and that was as far as it went, which ultimately really dragged the character down. I wasn't excited to pull him at all because it was just another Kid Goku. I hope that they don't drop Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta now, honestly, because again, he's a really hype character, and I'm just scared that they're gonna run out of characters by the time we reach like 7th anniversary, 8th or 9th, hopefully, if the game does end up lasting that long. So again, in my opinion, just too hype of a character. Sorry, I've been eating a lot, man. But one character that does come to mind, and one that people don't really discuss a lot about, I'm not talking about, like this is basically like the results of my own thinking, my own theory crafting, is this Super Saiyan 3 Goku from the Majin Buu saga. It's the one where he beats up Fat Buu, the one where he kind of like shakes the earth, like that scene where he goes, what does he say? Hold on, let me try to remember it. Like the one where he goes, this is to go even further beyond. I think it's a pretty iconic scene, the one where he transforms from Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3. It's an iconic scene, which is what Ultras are supposed to represent to begin with, so I guess it would make a lot of sense. Personally, he does seem cool, right? Like, we already have this unit in Dokkan as a TUR, and so, you know, we've seen a lot of times where, for some reason, Legends and Dokkan drop similar units at the same time, and it's really weird why they do that. But they do, and they kind of sort of work together and kind of build off of each other's hype, which does work very well. So I guess I could see this Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. At least that's my opinion personally. He's a pretty cool unit, a pretty, I guess, iconic character. He's part of an iconic scene, so makes sense why you would make him an Ultra. But that's just my personal opinion. He's not that big of a character, so I can see why a lot of people would disagree with this. He's just not hype enough. It's very similar to the Fusion Zamasu situation. But it's not a non-hype moment, it's just, you know, there's space for even more exciting characters, which leads me to my final candidate of today's video, and that would be, you know, a character that I'm pretty sure all of you would recognize and are probably thinking about as one of the units that I just haven't mentioned, and it would be Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. Out of all the units I've mentioned thus far, I do believe Ultra Instinct Goku, for some reason, just to me, really fits as the character that I want to see as the Ultra for Part 3 of Legends' 6th anniversary, and I'll break down the reason as to why. He's just cool, man. Okay, that's a stupid reason, I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted to say. I think Mastered UI Goku is a very hype unit, but another thing is that there are so many animations from Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku that we haven't seen yet. So if they decide to make an Ultra now, they'll still have a lot to work with later down the line if they ever choose to drop, like maybe a UI Sign Goku that turns into Master Ultra Instinct or something like that. They're probably going to have a lot of animations to work with, even though they've kind of wasted almost all of the possible animations on this Ultimate. Like, if you've seen the Ultimate animation, you know that he basically pulls out every single attack in the anime for some reason, just pours it into one massive skill as the legendary finish. And so it's understandable why a lot of people may think that, oh, you know, they're gonna run out of you know, animations. They're not gonna have a lot to work with. But I do believe that Master Ultra Instinct Goku as an Ultra would be pretty hype. It would definitely get them top grossing. Definitely make PvP a lot more hype because people just want to check out how toxic this guy is going to be as an Ultra, especially with his unique gauge, the one where he can evade and counter at the same time, because they can work off of that a lot. Like, they can make some pretty significant modifications, in my opinion, to this gauge, because we're going from Sparking Legends Limited to Ultra. Imagine if you could evade and then counter with, counter, and then you can combo it with a blue card. That would be crazy, and it would alter the meta in such a big way, in a way that I think really does make a lot of sense for Anniversary, right? Because they tend to really kind of change the game and keep the entire community basically on their toes, because people just have no idea what to expect from Master Ultra Instinct Goku. It's part of the reason why I do think this Goku definitely is suitable as the third part of the 6th anniversary, as the Ultra unit. Definitely think that he is one of the best candidates and one that I'm putting my money on. He's definitely one of the coolest. In terms of animation, like, you don't really need to try too hard. Like, a Master Ultra Instinct Goku's animations are fairly simple. You can copy off of Dragon Ball Fighters. Like, that's good enough. And so yeah, I think it does work pretty well. And if you're talking about building off of the hype of other Dragon Ball games, it also works, because Sparking Zero dropped their battle trailer and had Master Ultra Instinct Goku as the kind of headlining character to bring people in and kind of build that interest in the potential viewer. And so if they wanted to make Master Ultra Instinct Goku the 6th anniversary Ultra, I wouldn't be against it. The only thing that only came to my mind now, that I'm actually just realizing, is that Master Ultra Instinct Goku is representative of Universe 7, so it would make a lot of sense for him to drop at the 7th end. Damn it! That actually makes so much more sense now that I think about it. Yeah, damn, okay. Personally, if you want like my truly honest opinion, I have no idea who the hell it's gonna be. Maybe Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I guess? But it's up in the air, really, because on one hand, we don't really want to see them drop a unit that's too hype, a unit that's just too cool to really drop now. It's a very iffy point in time where you're on the way to some of the more hype celebrations, like Legends Festival 2024 and the 7th anniversary of Dragon Ball Legends. Like, we need to look forward to these future events if we want to kind of help. If we need any help to kind of figure out who the current celebration character is going to be. Sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought constantly right now. I mean, like, I just derailed my own argument. What do you expect me? How do you expect me to react exactly? But yeah, the unit could be anyone, right? It could be Super Saiyan 3 Goku, like I said before, or it could actually just be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Gogeta, like I said before. Even if the character may seem too hype for me, I think the devs may think that it's just hype enough, and they could end up dropping a really potent and powerful Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta character. At the end of the day, only time will tell, and we won't really be able to know until we actually see for ourselves in the reveals and stuff that's coming in a very long time. Not too long, really, but relatively speaking, it does feel like an eternity, because we're just waiting out here. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, or sorry, who you think is going to be the Ultra for Part 3 of Dragon Ball Legends Dragon Ball Legends 6th anniversary. And if you have any like criticisms, if it seems like I'm rambling or stumbling on my words too much, let me know. I think it's definitely an error that I need to fix, and if there are any other errors in the video that you'd like to point out, I'm definitely open to you bringing it up in the conversation in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like if you think that my ideas, my line of thinking makes sense and you can definitely vibe with it. Then make sure to leave a like on the video, and make sure to subscribe so you're notified when I drop another video. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Bye, and thanks for watching.